some people think that dating, there's two different datings. There's dating normal and then there's dating exclusive.
Okay.
Dating exclusive is when you're taking pictures together, people know that you're together, but you're still dating. So is dating exclusive in a relationship?
So see, I think exclusive dating is at that point, that's like your girlfriend. That's like your committed relationship person that you're saying, okay, I'm trying to see where this is gonna go pretty much at that point. But it just depends on how it's being done in the scene and scenario. Because if you show your girl,
So y'all just going on dates.
so yeah, if you're just going on a date and then you just show everybody, well then people will see that it's a normal thing.
Is that your girl? Are y'all in a relationship?
It depends on what the communication was behind the conversation of how we're doing it.
So let's say you're exclusively dating and y'all been dating for a while. Does it turn into a relationship or is it an agreement first?
No, I think a relationship has to definitely be communicated. Just because you're wearing the rubber one minute and then you're taking the rubber off doesn't mean that instantly we're in a relationship. It doesn't.
Because there's times where people instantly stop talking to other people because they start dating. So let's say you start dating someone and then she is now instantly into you. She knows that you're the only one that she's dating, so she stops
Dating
talking.
other people?
She stops talking to everyone else, and so you said it's communication. Should it be communicated in the beginning?
Yeah, I think if you let your person know okay, look, I put all my eggs in one basket, it's up for them to make that decision. Okay, I'm gonna put all my eggs in one basket.
So it's not your fault if later on she finds out that you're dating other people. She shouldn't get mad.
Not because you never communicated that we're in a committed relationship.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it. But people don't think like that. They just feel like instantly they become territorial because this person's making them feel this way. But really, now that you're dating, but if your hand, for example, is helping you get the same situation, right? Or your foot is helping you get the same situation, or you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you say that just because your hand chooses to eat with food this day means that you should be getting upset at your right hand versus your left hand? I know that doesn't make sense probably, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I just noticed that a lot of people get confused with the dating phase because people instantly feel like when you're dating that we're now together.
Just because you smash doesn't mean that you're good.
That you're in a relationship.
No, it has to be communicated.
Agreed.
But I think a lot of people definitely at certain points when they really like the person, they tend to say, what are we? So when we get the question of what are we? We are, it depends on what you're doing. You could be building, you could be dating, you could be seeking, you could be doing many different things, but until that clear communication is played, like how can you say what are we?
So it needs to be clearly explained in the beginning what it is and the definition of what dating is, because a lot of people get it confused. They think that dating is potentially, if we go on this amount of dates, we're not together because I vibe with you.
How can anybody say that? No, I think what it is it takes us back to the how to stop being jealous in your relationship video that I just did recently. And it was basically one of those things of, because when people start dating, sometimes like if they find out somebody else is talking to somebody else, they feel some type of way. But what was the difference from when we were friends versus to when we were dating? Like what changed in the dynamic to where it was like I couldn't have the same friendships or the same communications with certain people just because we're having conversations now, because we're spending more time together now.
Right.
Like I'm trying to understand where that mindset comes in and how that plays such a detriment to people that get into relationships, high key, because they always end up failing because they feel like they're not getting the same attention. But just because somebody else is getting more attention than you're getting doesn't necessarily mean that I devalue you or I value them more than you, especially if you never even met this person before and you're just having a good conversation. You just met somebody that's cool. You're going home with potentially your person, but just because of that still doesn't come to the determining fact, or just because we're going to the crib means that we are in a committed relationship. It means that we've built this bond and this trust to where I could pull up at your crib or you could pull up at my crib afterwards and we catch a vibe and I trust you in my crib. So I treat you as somebody of value, right? Of somebody of value, but it doesn't have a title, which makes titles, or for some reason they come with these stipulations, which barrier you and make you feel chained. But you shouldn't be chained with somebody who values you, because y'all could go out and turn up together.
The only title that should be is what it is, and that's dating. And dating is specifically dating, no strings attached. I feel that people misunderstand the title of dating. They instantly feels that, oh, well, we've been on a certain amount of dates, so I thought that we were together because we've been on this certain amount of dates. But until that communication is clearly explained, that we are in a relationship, that agreement is made, dating is dating. It should not be confused with a relationship. And I feel that most people would have more control over their emotions and their reactions if they understand what dating really is. Yeah. Instead of turning it into something that it isn't just because you've spent a certain amount of time together. So,
I feel that. Well, I mean, what do you think is dating?
Dating is the time that you spend with someone to figure out if that is the person that you want to be in a relationship with. I think that is what dating is for. If during that dating phase, you start to see that this person isn't full on who you want to be in a relationship with, then now you know. Versus just jumping into the relationship. I think that's the whole point behind dating. So that you can have that time to figure out, is this someone that I want to be in a relationship with? So and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I feel that during the dating phase, you shouldn't automatically put all your eggs in one basket.
Yes, I agree. You shouldn't always put your eggs in one basket. And people, for some reason, they feel like as soon as you say, hey, look, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, that you're disrespecting them. But what people don't understand is that you have to have some, at least, selectability about yourself. If you just got one job lined up, but you really should have applied to 100, and then, you know, you can narrow it down to maybe about 15 in order to figure out what you want to get.
Exactly.
If you just going to McDonald's, but you don't go to Zaxby's, you don't go to Burger King, you don't go to Wendy's, you don't go to freaking Taco Bell, you don't freaking go to Morocco Pizza, you don't go to the Chinese restaurant, you don't go to every single restaurant, how could you figure out what you even want to get? You could be happy eating Chinese one day. Every day, honestly, because their menu's huge. You could be happy eating pizza. I mean, so you got to choose the healthy choice too. So what's the healthy choice? Healthy choice might be going to work at Culver's. And you get the good environment. You know, ain't nobody coming over there talking crazy. Might go Chick-fil-A. But this is brought to you by Illuminated D. Just want a red Solo cup, clear glass. Ooh. So back into our conversation. I agree with you though. I just don't understand why it has to be so complicated when it should be simple.
It's just all, I feel it's all about understanding what's really going on, because, and it can't be one-sided. You can't start dating someone and then in your mind you're thinking, oh, well, we've been on 6 dates. I'm not talking to anyone else. I like the way we're vibing. This is my one. We're now in a relationship. It can't be one-sided. It has to be communicated properly. The right questions have to be asked. And if the right questions aren't asked, then it's either your job or the next person's job to make it clear what it is. If no one is asking questions, someone needs to make it clear what is going on and what this is, to protect everyone's feelings, their thoughts, emotions, reactions. That way we can all stay cool and everybody can, stay cool.
Yeah. Because I be tired of having like arguments and things that don't matter.
And losing bonds,
losing bonds, amazing bonds. We got a beautiful bond.
Yeah. Like y'all gotta think about how many bonds y'all be ruining because y'all are not communicating properly or understanding what's really going on. If the vibe started off on point and everybody's super cool, you two are super cool, don't let lack of communication ruin it. Don't let your frustrations or your misunderstanding ruin the bond, because y'all were cool all the way up until this point, and now all of a sudden you're upset and you're hurt because you felt like you were in a relationship with this person, but in reality you're just dating this person. You are all just dating.
But so what happens when you fall in love with the person that you're dating, but you can't necessarily just jump right to wedding days, because you have to be
patience.
I guess it's trusting your partner.
Nothing good comes fast.
I feel that.
Everything that lasts starts off slow.
I feel that.
And so I feel for that, if you really want something special and if your goal is to get married, be patient. Be patient. If this is somebody that you know, everything that this person is doing, you love about this person and you want to be with this person forever, be patient, because this person may not be moving as fast as you. Emotionally, this person, you may have to give this person a little bit more time to catch up to you emotionally and mentally. So I think the key to that is just patience. Be patient and don't ruin it by allowing your emotions to frustrate you. We have a lot of emotions. You can be happy about it. You can even be sad about it. That's better than being frustrated about it.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get angry. Don't get angry. Don't cause, if you and this person are dating and y'all have been at peace for all these months, don't let your emotions cause you to get angry and disrupt the peace that y'all have been having, because now you're ruining what could have been.
I feel that. It's a hard game in these streets, man. The dating pool is, I think it's as plentiful as you want it to be, but finding good individuals that actually care about you come far and few in between. So when you do, I think communicating the right way, even in friendships, family, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta just understand your position and just know how to play it. You know what I'm saying? And just be of peace of mind and not putting people on emotional roller coasters. Because even parents with children, you can't put your children on emotional roller coasters. You know what I'm saying? Your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, if you're doing certain things, depending, you know what I'm saying? Putting people through emotional roller coasters is damaging. I feel like it's overall damaging to to the mental, it's damaging to the emotional, and then we get these learned behaviors, right? And then we pass it on to the next person, and then they somehow get traumatized because you were traumatized. So I think what it is identifying our traumas beforehand, and then coming into a relationship to be somebody of value. How can I help you? So if I'm gonna come to you and I'll be like, you know what do you need help with? Instead of me saying, can you help me? What do you need help with? And then once I can help you, right, it translates over to me, which is kind of like yin yang, you feel me? Like yin yang. How can I help you? Help me help you, help me help you, and then it becomes transitional, and then instead of it being something of like jealousy, it's like, oh no, they gotta go out here and get it because I understand what they're doing it for. I understand their vision. But if you can't even understand your partner's vision because everybody has a different life, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got your life, I got my life, they got their life. So when you come into your lives together, right, you got to figure out how that dynamic works. And if you can't communicate and figure out how that dynamic works, it'll never make sense. And then you'll constantly conflict.
But during the dating phase, don't forget to continue to fall in love with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to fall in love with the person that you're dating because this person is doing all the right things. But don't forget, while you're dating, continue to fall in love with yourself. Continue to love yourself, because that will protect you.
It'll protect you, because if you don't, and we have a square. I say we got a square. And our square is like whatever your normal routine is before you meet your special person. But when you go into meeting your special person, instantly what you're doing is you're stepping outside of your square, and then coming back down to your square to do this. So if you keep stepping out of your square and then you build a square over here, but you stop going to this square to work on self, but you only focus here, you get depressed.
Exactly.
Because if they're doing their thing and you're not doing your thing at the same time, while it's simultaneously, and then you come here to meet in half, every time. Looking at it like that, it's like, man, you gotta love yourself.
Yeah, you can't forget about yourself, especially during the dating phase. And even when you get into a relationship, I feel that it's important to remember who you are. Don't get lost in falling in love with who you're with. Don't get lost in that. Remember that the person that fell in love with you was who you were before you got into that relationship. That is who they fell in love with. So if you forget about yourself and you're now only focused on that person in your relationship, you potentially can lose that person because you're no longer being who you were when that person met you.
Sometimes the hardest thing is pulling away your time and having to get back right. Because if you don't stay focused on your vision, then you can't actually be in the situation that you're in. Because putting all that time and effort into getting to where you were and coming onto the frequency to meet the person that you're with was the reason that you even met in the first place, because you never met them before, so why did you meet then and there? But if you can't keep yourself on the same frequency because you're loving yourself or doing whatever it is that you were doing, and you start changing, well, instantly now your own mental becomes subject to all these different things that shouldn't be because you're focused. But if you're not focused on what you got to do, you're only focused on what they got to do, and then it hurts. Hurts in the end. But so wrapping it up in conclusion, what would you say?
During the dating phase, know what the dating phase is. And in the dating phase, remember to continue to be who you are. And until that person and you properly communicate that you're going into an agreement to be in a relationship, don't allow yourself to have those relationships expectations, because that could ruin the dating phase.
Don't ruin the dating phase. It's your boy Illuminated D. You know what I'm saying? We back with another one. Many blessings to you all. Hope you have a great night. Because we all want to be successful. We all want to be somewhere in life. But in order to do that, you got to do something that you ain't never done before. And that's the reason that we're doing this right here, right now. All right? Everybody be blessed. Be safe. Have a great night.